I wanted to basically go over with you the sex check KRs that you'd received the sex check at the end of 2013, and then I think Patricia was going to see you, but you went out of town, and Patricia went out of town, and you've never been.
Yeah, it was tough trying to hook up a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just got them recently because he's still out of town.
Okay.
So then we needed to do something, so I finally found them and I looked at them. Now, in the KRs, from what I've read, there are a number of different suppressive acts that are in here.
Okay. Can you?
Yeah, like specifically like communication with Jason Begay, giving him the mail that you would receive between September 2009 and July 2010. This occurred about 12 times and added about the release of the basics. 2009, you were with several declared people. This one had been reported. This is where there was the photo that was on your Facebook that I think Patricia saw you on at that time.
It wasn't on my Facebook.
It was on a Facebook.
It was the Boschoffs who felt like they needed to put it out there.
Right. So September 2007 and August 2009 looked at websites reporting to contain OT materials, then speak about it. This occurred weekly, initiated it, but Sylvia feels she contributed to keep us in this activity. Sylvia remained connected with her after finding out he was declared. This continued 6 times for a few months. She also smoked pot with him for a few of those times. She went to see him at his then-girlfriend Christian ministry, and he came to stage several times. August 2013 was the last time she saw him. She was attempting to stop him after he threatened suicide to get him back in the church. In July 2010, Sylvia got Mike Rinder's email. She read his blog a few times but recognized she had to stay off these types of lines. 1.5 years ago, she asked Mark Schroeffler what happened on his Facebook page. There was no follow-up after he answered her in a neutral way. She watched several interviews with Lawrence Wright last winter. She wrote on his Facebook page that she appreciated his objectivity. She has since disconnected from him. She watched Leah Remini a number of times on Google News, The Ellen Show, and Dancing with the Stars during the period of June to August 2013. She was curious about the issue of what happened to Shelley Miscavige. 2 years ago, Lucas, is it Tan or Tanny?
Catton.
Catton? Oh, Catton.
Yeah. Can I ask, was there a false report that accompanied this? Because I wrote a false report.
On that specific one or the whole thing?
The whole thing.
No. Like you got the sex check and felt these were wrong?
Yeah. And John said, well, write your false report. And I did, and I routed it to him. And he says, looks good. So I'd assumed it had accompanied this.
No. Or is any of the stuff I said accurate?
No. Well, it's generalized and exaggerated when it says several times, a few times, and that sort of thing. And why.
Okay. Well, continue. 2 years ago, so Lucas Catton contacted you to find out if the stepfather of his daughter was a suitable parent for his child. You asked for information about what happened to Narconon and why he was declared. 1 month ago, he contacted you again to find out why you had unfriended him on Facebook and you told him you wanted to follow the rules. Those are them. And then more recently, there were posts that you'd made on Nick Lister and Aaron Smith-Levin's Facebook page.
There were posts?
Posts, like comments you had made on photos of theirs.
Yeah, I did comment on, but I've unfriended them.
Right, so the problem is that like these different things, even if it was one time or there was a reason why or whatever, like it continues to come up. And these things are suppressive acts. So I'm going to give you the PL, the HCOPL on suppressive acts.
Can I stop you for a second?
Okay.
Because what was definitely neglected in the KR that did come up in the sec check was, as I'm reading the program I was given, at one point it was the Code of a Scientologist. And I cognited, I am not a Scientologist. And the desire to be in a church does not appeal to me. I don't like the rules. I'm not an enemy. I'm very supportive. If you heard the conversations between me and my husband, who said he would come down here, he will make a statement to get his ass on course at Bel Air Mission because he has gains, he has wins, he's happy. I've never invalidated his wins nor his gains, but I am not church material. I have finally cognized on that. And I am not an enemy. I am not an enemy. In fact, I think if you look over the last 35 years of my connection to the church, you'll see I've done maybe half a dozen courses, okay, and a few seminars. My interest has always been in helping the community. Volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. When I came to Clearwater 20 years ago, I was like jumping for anything and everything that I could volunteer. I painted Winter Wonderland, okay, Way to Happiness. I'm there, I'm hanging them out. I love the Way to Happiness. I'm not going to be one of those that are going to be able to abide by the rules. I'm not out there telling people to not do that. It's just me. I'm not that. I know I'm scared. I'm scared about telling you this. I read up and it's like I'm not making a public announcement. I'm not telling my friends this. I applaud their wins because they look happier. They look brighter. I indulge myself. I have the congresses awarded to me by Annie Year at the mission. So I've been myself going through these congresses. I like that. I enjoy that part. What I don't enjoy is this. Because for me, it squishes me. And though it's been explained and read and the policies and everything else, I've word cleared it and I'm like, I still disagree. And LRH says I can do that. And he also said it's not for everyone. I'm like, well, you know, there's certain parts of the tech I do disagree with, but I have to say 99.9% of it I love. That's the tech. But for me, the church, it doesn't interest me.
Okay.
And where we go from there, it's like I'm just not getting enthused about doing a program to come back on board. I have no intention at this point of coming back into a course room. I might do extension courses, but quite frankly, the congresses are probably going to take me at my rate about the next 3 or 4 years. And I've got 2 kids in college, 1 in a rock band. That's where my heart lies. I'm also trying to finish my degree so I can start a camp, you know, where I can incorporate Way to Happiness, but
Totally fine. So basically, the point is like these actions that are laid out in the sex check KR, like, or even like connecting up with declared SPs, these people are enemies of our church.
I do understand that.
Right. So you don't want to do it. I'm not here to try and handle you to do it at all. But these actions, per our policies, are suppressive acts, and they get labeled as such. And the problem with living in Clearwater is that there are there's tons of Scientologists.
Yes, there are. Yeah, John Goldman was like, well, what are you doing here?
Yeah, the community actions, yeah, you can do things that are not involving Scientologists for sure. But a lot of the community actions, especially in like downtown Clearwater, and the things you're talking about, Way to Happiness, these things are generally with Scientologists. Maybe they're not, and fine. No one, of course, can do whatever you want.
Right.
I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But my point is that those things are suppressive acts toward the church, whether you're a Scientologist or whether you're not a Scientologist. So you can not do it. That's fine. I'm just telling you, like, those things get labeled as such. So I was going to give you the policy letter so you can read it if you do want to.
I have read it and I understand. I hope that you will consider the intention behind it. It wasn't to harm the church. It wasn't to pick up a picket sign or anything like that. Okay, it was out of simple curiosity. Especially the call with it wasn't a call, it was an email with Mark Schreffler. What happened? Shrap. Okay, it freaked me out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I think anybody with a curious mind would want to ask the guy, what the hell? You know, and I did read Debbie Cook's letter because I loved Debbie Cook. I went to the meetings, the CEC, I was like, what the hell? This doesn't make any sense to me. So I pursued that. I did that. Now I didn't need to. The only reason I make a comment or even contact someone like Nick Lister is because my heart goes out to him. He's my daughter's age. He's been cut off. I've been cut off. I've experienced that just a smidge when the Boschoffs felt like they had to put my picture with people that I had just met that night. I didn't even know they were suppressives or declared persons until I was there. And
Right.
sure, I should have gotten up, but 4 or 5 drinks later, they take my picture and put it on Facebook. Great, okay? So then Boschoffs ran with it. That was upsetting because what happened is I go from about 1,200 people on my friends list to about 200 in 3 days. Nobody asked questions. Nobody came to me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little heart-wrenching. And so I know how Nick feels. And I know how he felt. He wanted to kill himself. It is horrid. And that's one of the reasons I'm not interested in the whole church thing, because I think I don't agree with it. I can't agree with it. And I've been showed policy, and I can't. I told myself I would not get emotional about it, and I'm just going to TR3 it.
It's fine. I'm not here to handle you to do it.
I know, and I
I'm more
appreciate
telling
that.
you that
But
these things get labeled, and they get, people who do these things do get labeled. And so I didn't want to all of a sudden just have a label happen when no one had spoken to you in 8 months. That's why I decided to see you.
okay.
Because at least I'm telling you, and if I wanted to give you the policy, you don't have to take it if you don't want to. It's in the ethics book as well. It gives the step if one does want to get back into good standing. Yeah, that was the main reason that I just didn't want it to be out of the blue.
Okay. All right. What's going to be out of the blue? What's coming? What is coming?
Like what I'm saying is someone commits suppressive act, they get labeled
So you're going to actually label me a suppressive.
for the committing the suppressive acts, yes.
Do you understand what that is going to do to me?
I think that the actions that you've taken,
I'm telling you right now, I'm not even a member of the church, but you're still labeling me.
but
How does that work?
look at the actions that you've done, like I just explained. They're covered
But
as
if I did it
suppressive
as a
acts.
non-member, I don't even have a membership. I've never had a membership.
Okay.
So anybody in this whole planet, whoever spoke with Nick Lister, is a suppressive?
Well, somehow you've had some connection to the org or the church. I mean, I'm seeing you now.
Everybody in this town and has had some involvement with the church. The mayor. Can the mayor not speak to Nick?
I think you're more of a Scientologist than the mayor.
I'm telling you right now, I'm not a Scientologist.
Fine. Maybe you were more of one.
So you're going to label me as suppressive. That means my husband has to divorce me. That means I lose half of my clients. That means my son, who is in a band with a Scientologist, who's about to make a big record, can't be in that band anymore. Or he has to disconnect from his mother. I have to disconnect from my brother. I've lost 2 to death. And now I'm going to lose to disconnection. Does this make any sense?
I'm just telling you, you need to take responsibility for your actions that you've done. It's
They
not
weren't
that-
suppressive. There was not any harm intended. I had a communication. I have seen Bruce Lee on the street say, hey, what are you doing? You know, he responded to a communication. How come he's not in here having to do this? Why isn't he labeled a suppressive?
I don't know, did you report it at the time?
He didn't report
I don't know.
himself? My goodness.
I don't know,
Isn't he
it's
new
supposed to hear
okay?
about it. I'm just telling you that you need to take responsibility for your actions. You can handle it.
By doing the program,
It's covered in the reference. It's covered in the HCOPL. You can have a copy or it's in the ethics book.
am I going to see said declaration?
When it gets approved, then the Justice Chief will contact you.
And what is that? Then what happens?
She'll go into the different steps, options, etc. She'll
My
be the terminal.
options.
She'll be your only terminal in the church.
This is really mean. This is suppressive. What you're doing. I am a good person. I have got a shitload of comments from this organization. Nobody's even bothered to look. I don't even put my name anymore. Pam Anderson wants me to put my name on this list every time I check in at Winter Wonderland. I said, that's not why I'm doing it. Okay? I'm not trying to get a commendation from the Church of Scientology. I'm doing it because I love kids. I am not a suppressive.
Okay. You've committed suppressive acts.
With this organization, which I am not a part of.
Okay. I get that. Somehow you've connected yourself into the group.
That's... How do you sit there so calmly and destroy someone's life?
I think
How do you
need to
do
take
it?
a look at your actions.
No, my actions are fine. Anybody outside this room, in the real world, would have read that and gone, what? You commented on someone's Facebook post? And by the way, who's policing the Facebook? Who
Pretty
reported
easy
that?
to see it.
Yeah, who? Who is it that has time to police my Facebook page? Who?
I don't know.
Bullshit.
I receive it.
Let me see it.
I don't have it here with me.
You don't even have a report.
I have it here in my office. I have your file. I didn't bring
So
the whole file.
the only thing you can show me are my own admissions in my sec check. That's it. I came to you guys. For being there and communicating, you're declaring me. You don't have one KR. That was why I was told I had to do a sec check. Was all these KRs. And I'm like, can I see them? And I never got to see them. Never. Not once. And I've requested and got the runaround from John, from Patricio, from Ann Manier. Nobody ever showed them to me.
Okay. I got that. I didn't know that. It's the first time I spoke to you. So.
This is
Actions.
injustice. This is injustice. I have done nothing but communicate.
Good. So I think you should read the suppressive acts bill, and it gives you your rights in there and your options in there.
My options are I have to move out, divorce my husband,
I mean, you can read the reference and see what the options.
or jeopardize my own personal integrity. That's what you're saying. I have to go against my own integrity. Okay? Are you watching this? Is he watching this?
I think you should just read the PL, and then you can see what your options are.
Well, you did your drill well. Your TRs are spot on, buddy.